The pandemic is contributing to visualization's literacy. We had to train ourselves to read curves to make sense of what was happening around us. We became obsessed with reading curves, predicting curves, fearing curves, dreaming with curves, and even getting excited about curves. Aviation, GDP, markets, isolation measures, COVID spread, lung diseases, comparative infections across countries, real estate. We became experts in surfing curves until what started being a media whisper became an emergency instruction. We needed to flatten the curve. We were instructed to act on a curve, to bend a curve, to flatten a curve, to flatten the curve. Shortly after the lockdown, an unexpected surprise started to be announced. People could breathe for the first time in a long, long time in cities around the world. Urban air pollution had dramatically dropped, proving how instantly connected our everyday actions are to urban air pollution. Happiness! Great news! There's new possible futures ahead, and it's so simple. We only have to stop the madness of neoliberal capitalism. And we started receiving images that were sweets to our eyes. So, if the situation is sustained for a while, I was thinking, it could affect climate change. Meeting targets thanks to an invisible virus. A virus flattening the curve of climate change. Until I bumped into a graph which hit me like an arrow, and I couldn't remove from deep inside for more than a week. The graph made me realize important issues. If we only paid attention to the good news, the situation where we are at is really, really exciting. But when looking at the historical data of CO2 emissions throughout time, the picture is radically different. The point we are at is exciting, but extremely fragile and most likely unstable. Also, depending on the CO2 emissions curve is likely to recover its vertiginous growth in no time. So that at the end of the year, the predictions say that the total reduction is going to be a 5%. 5%! So you stop the world for 3 months out of 12 and you only reduce 5%? Made visible and palpable the following. We have been trained in curving during these months, but this was only a small test. Our individual everyday actions do affect air pollution, but only slightly contribute to climate change. So, which of the curves do we need to flatten? This also made me wonder, has the world really stopped? Because if we're not spending the energy of those CO2 emissions, who is? And sadly, this curve demonstrates the radical change needed to flatten the curve of climate change.